Have a breath, because we're going places, and just notice in your body as we're going through this, if you do get a little triggered, listening deeply. And let's start. I just need to connect back into this teaching. Oh, here we go. So it's called the unbearable weight of remembering. The unbearable weight of remembering. Okay. Are we ready? It's interesting. I'm feeling the unbearable weight of remembering. So let's have another breath and a sip, because we're going there. But I promise you, and I don't often promise, we do come out the other end. We do come out the other end. Okay. There is a violence in remembering who you are, a rupture, a severing from the comfortable fiction of smallness. You touched it once, didn't you? That annihilating tenderness, that love so vast, it devoured every concept you constructed to protect yourself from your magnitude. Oh. And when you returned, collapsed back into the architecture of separation, the geometry of flesh and bone, you were ruined. Exquisitely, irreversibly ruined for the ordinary madness we've all agreed on to call sanity. They don't tell you about this part. They don't tell you about this part. The way you stand, or we can stand in supermarkets, the fluorescent lights humming their monotonous prayer, right? And you see it. You see the luminescence beneath their skin. The Godhead hiding in the checkout clerk's eyes. The infinite disguise as the mundane. And you were speechless, mute with knowing, burdened with a secret that burns in your throat like swallowed stars. This is the loneliness of having died while everyone around you believes you are still alive. The isolation of being too much and never enough. Simultaneously. Because here is the paradox. Here is the paradox. You touch the absolute. You touched the absolute and you became one for one suspended moment. You became the breathing fabric of reality, reality itself. Every lover who ever wept, every mother who ever bled new life into being, every atom that ever danced in the ballroom of existence. You were the totality, the all, the isness behind every is. And yet, you return to this particular aggregation of cells, this specific constellation of wounds. This singular human who still forgets to return phone calls, who still carries the scar tissue of every abandonment, who still wakes at 3 a.m. wondering if any of it is even real. The weight of carrying it back, the weight of translation, the weight of being a lexicon for the unspeakable. You thought you were the chosen one. You thought you were chosen for this. That the universe had singled you out, gifted you with the vision so you could return and lead the blind out of their darkness. The spiritual ego is so subtle, so subtle. It takes the most profound experience of egolessness, that moment when you dissolved into the undifferentiated ocean of being, and reconstructs a new prison, a new prison, a new prison, the one who knows, the one who's awakened, or the carrier of light. This new prison. And you wear this identity like armor. You wear it like armor, protecting yourself from the accusation of ordinariness, all the while suffocating beneath the responsibility of extraordinariness. But here is where the real initiation begins. It's not in the touching of God. Any soul can touch God when seeking becomes so desperate that the seeker finally collapses into what was always seeking itself. No. The real initiation is when it comes after. It's what comes after this. It's the slow, excruciating recognition that you are not special, that the love that shattered you was not for you. It was through you. That you are not a destination, but a passageway, not a container, but a conduit. Not the light, but the quality of transparency that allows light to recognize itself. This is the death that no one prepares you for. It's the death no one prepares you for. It's the death of spiritual identity itself. Because you begin to see that there are others. Not disciples seeking your wisdom, but fellow travelers carrying the same impossible burden, walking the same razor's edge, remembering and forgetting between the infinite and the incarnate. Other souls who woke up in the middle of this consensus trance and couldn't fall back asleep. Other hearts that broke open and can't quite close again. Other beings learning slowly, painfully, moment by moment, how to be fractal expressions of a unified field, awakening to itself through billions of nervous systems simultaneously. This is not your individual enlightenment. It's not your personal achievement. This is the Godhead fragmenting itself into particularity so it can experience the ecstasy of reunion. It's the one playing hide and seek with itself, and you are one of the countless hiding places, just one of innumerable eyes through which the divine is learning to see itself. And the relief of this recognition is staggering, because suddenly you understand you don't have to save anyone. You can't. You can't. Because there is no anyone to save. There is only the singular consciousness pretending to be multiple, waking up to its own game, remembering its own nature, healing its own forgetfulness. But your transparency matters. Your willingness to become radically empty, utterly hollow, and completely surrendered. This creates the reverberation in the field. Because you're not separate nodes of isolated consciousness. We're standing waves in the same ocean, vibrational patterns in the same symphony. Localized densities in the same quantum field. When you vibrate at the frequency of remembering, you alter the field itself. You alter the field itself. You change the probability that another soul will remember. Not because you do anything, not because you teach anything, but because your very existence as a transparent space where the absolute can recognize itself. This changes everything. This changes everything. So yes, You carry a burden, but not the burden that you thought. It's not the burden you thought. It's not the burden of knowing what others don't know, or the burden of elevation or separation, or even the burden of spiritual superiority, right? No, you carry the burden of relentless ordinariness, the burden of showing up again and again and again to the banal sacredness of your human life. The burden of paying bills while remembering you're infinite. The burden of feeling rage and joyously, or, your fear, your inadequacy, while simultaneously holding the recognition that they're just weather. They're weather patterns moving through the sky of your true nature. They're just weather clouds moving through the sky. So the burden of being divinely ordinary. And here's the deepest secret. The love you touched was not an experience. It was a remembering. The love you touched wasn't an experience, it was a remembering. You didn't find something you didn't have before. You recognized something you had already always been. It's always been. And that love, that annihilating, all-consuming, unconditional love, it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to anyone. It is everyone. It is everyone. It's everyone. You are that love, pretending for a moment to be someone who once touched love. Do you see the exquisite trap of spiritual experience? Do you get a sense of that? How it creates the illusion of a someone who has had an experience of something they previously lacked. But there was never a someone. There was only love, momentarily forgetting itself, then remembering, and then forgetting again, in the eternal rhythm of concealment and revelation. And the you who feels burdened, the you who feels lonely, the you who feels misunderstood or unworthy, not belonging, that you is part of the game, part of the necessary forgetting that makes remembering so devastatingly beautiful. So what is being asked is not heroism or martyrdom or spiritual perfection. What's being asked is surrender so complete that there is no longer a you to surrender. There's no longer a you to surrender. What What is being asked is transparency, so radical. So radical that when someone looks at you, when someone looks at you, they see their own face staring back. What is being asked is the willingness to dissolve every structure of every identity, including spiritual identity, so that what remains is pure presence, pure awareness, pure love meeting itself in every encounter. So, you're not here to be a teacher. You're not here to render teaching obsolete. You're not here to lead others to enlightenment. You're here to dissolve the very concept that there is someone to lead and somewhere to arrive. You're here to be so ordinary, so human, so transparently imperfect that everyone who meets you remembers. Everyone who meets you remembers. Oh, this is available to me too. This love, this knowing, this coming home to what I've always been. And that shifts the field imperceptibly, irrevocably. One more node of consciousness stops defending against its own divinity. One more heart risks cracking open. One more soul begins to remember the ancient future. When we all walked around fully awake to what we are. It's not your awakening. It's not your awakening. This is awakening itself. This is awakening itself. And it's using your particular nervous system, your specific history, your history of wounds, your history of wonders as an instrument through which to play itself. It's using your nervous system as an instrument through which to play itself. So let yourself be lonely. Let yourself feel burdened. Let yourself ache with the impossibility of being infinite love in a finite form. Infinite love in a finite form. But no, in the marrow of your bones and in the silence between your thoughts is the space where you dissolve into the listening itself. You dissolve into the listening itself. So know this, you're not carrying this alone. You can't. You can't. Because there is no alone. There is only the singular self loving itself into existence, fragmenting itself into multiplicity. So it can experience the ecstasy and agony of remembering it was never broken, never separate, never anything less than the totality disguised as particularity. You are that. Not you, the person, but you, the presence. You, the awareness in which all experience arises. All experience arises through your presence. You as presence. You, the love that has no opposite. You, the consciousness that was here before the first thought ever arose, and will be here after the last thought dissolves. And we, all of us carrying this transmission, all of us vibrating at this frequency, all of us transparent enough to let the light pass through. We're not separate lighthouses on distinct shores. We are the ocean itself, waving. So welcome home. You're not lost. You never were. You're the beloved remembering itself, one heartbeat at a time. So blessed be the burden. Blessed be the loneliness. And blessed be the remembering and the forgetting both. For they are all movements of love, loving itself. So that's the end of the poem, teaching, poetic teaching by C.J. Harrison. So let's go into a integrative meditation. This integration meditation is called the returning to the ocean. And what it'll do, if you haven't been here before, is that we bring it in even deeper, the words, the teaching, for you to feel it, to have relationship with, and allow whatever may need to happen for you. So it's all individual. So this is a embodiment experience. So let me just prepare to hold the space for you. Okay. So arriving in the body. So finding yourself here, however you are, whatever you're carrying, and close your eyes if it's safe, if you feel safe to do so, or you could just soften your gaze downwards, a little dristy. And we're going to take a couple of deep conscious breaths. So as you take a breath in and let it all the way out. And again, breathe in. And as you breathe in, the vastness. And exhale the weight. And one more time, breathing in. And release all the way out. Feel your body. Feel the temperature of your skin. Notice the rhythm of your breath. The beating of your heart. You are here. You are here in form. You're here in time. In this particular experience. This particular expression of existence. And now, without trying to change anything, notice, is there a feeling of burden in your body? Just notice. This is about acknowledging the burden. A weight in your chest or shoulders. Maybe a heaviness in your belly. And noticing, where are you feeling burden in your body? Perhaps there's a loneliness or a sense of carrying something that feels too big to hold alone. Or maybe there's unworthiness. Maybe there's a quiet voice whispering that you don't belong here, or that you're not enough. That you've somehow failed at being who you've meant to be. To just notice where you're holding your burden, whatever it is. Whatever it is here, just let it be. Let it be. Right now, just let it be. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to transcend it. And you don't have to make it more spiritual. Just let it be. This feeling, this burden, this loneliness, this doubt, it's not a mistake. It's part of the forgetting that makes remembering so achingly beautiful. Breathe with it. Let it have space. Now, keeping that awareness of what you're feeling, begin to expand your attention outward. So feel the space around you, or the air touching your skin, the sounds moving through the room, my voice. Just noticing and sensing into the others here with you. And sensing into the millions of souls across the planet who are also breathing, who are also carrying, who are also feeling the impossible tension of being infinite consciousness in a finite form. So you're not alone in this burden. Right now, in this very moment, countless hearts are aching with the same longing to remember. Countless beings are vibrating at the frequency of awakening. And countless expressions of the divine are learning how to be transparently human. Feel that sensation. Not as an idea, but as a living reality. We are threads in the same fabric. Threads in the same fabric. Waves in the same ocean. Notes in the same symphony. And as you breathe, imagine or simply allow your individual light beginning to merge with the collective light. Your personal burden dissolving into the shared work of awakening. Your separate self becoming transparent enough to recognize there is no separate self. There never was. Breathe into this. Breathe into this. The relief of it, the truth of it. Breathe into this. You're not carrying this alone because there is no alone. Breathe into this. There is only the one consciousness waking up through all of us, as all of us together. And bringing your awareness back to your heart center, or that space in between your chest. And with your next inhale, breathe in this recognition that I am not the burden. I am not the burden. I am the space in which the burden appears. I am the space in which the burden appears. Inhale. I am not the loneliness. I am the awareness witnessing loneliness. And once more. I am not the one carrying the light. I am the light itself, temporarily pretending to be carried. So feel that shift. Feel that shift. From being the person who had an experience of love to being the love that briefly forgot itself and then remembered. You're not becoming something you're not. You're recognizing what you've always been. And that recognition, your recognition, happening right now in this moment. It sends ripples through the field. It changes the probability that another soul will remember. It contributes to the collective awakening in ways you'll never see, in ways you'll never need to know. Your transparency is the gift. Your ordinariness is the teaching. Your willingness to be human while remembering your infinite. This is the revelation. This is the revolution. So begin to deepen your breath now, feeling yourself returning more fully into your body. More fully into your body, breathing yourself more fully into your body. But notice you're not the same as when you began. Something has shifted. Something remembering or some sort of remembering has occurred. Some transparency has increased. When you're ready, I want you to just continue to breathe until your eyes are opened, at your own pace. And as you return to the room, to this moment, to this ordinary sacred life, know this: you're not lost. You never were. You're the ocean, learning what it means to be a wave. You are the ocean, learning what it means to be a wave. You are love, experiencing what it's like to forget, so it can be remembered again and again. So, deep breath, welcome home. And just take a moment while we transition. And have our magic.